Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this session. While waiting for more people to arrive, and Atanas, who is the chair of this session, to join us, I'll just say a few housekeeping items. Um, you can, during the presentation, you are able to ask any question. Just use the chat for this. Don't hesitate. Just questions, so we have like a meaningful discussion in the end. I see that Nasu is here also. So hi, Nasu.
Hello. Very happy to welcome Alfonso and Enrique. Thank you. Thank you for joining the Knowledge Graph Forum. Our partners from NTT Data will present Knowler, and that's something very, very different from the rest of the technology that we've seen in these couple of days, because most of it is for experts, for engineers, for geeks, while Knowler is actually a tool that is meant to make everybody's, you call it digital workplace, smarter. Yeah. And what it means under the cover is using ontologies and NLP and other AI techniques to, at the end of the day, deliver better search for emails, for documents, for people. And that's probably the most strive forward and the biggest value proposition that we heard here. If you can do this, you're everybody's favorite. Knowler is well integrated with many existing enterprise systems because it's meant to be used in this environment. They are top-level partner, NTT Data, and Everest before that, they're top-level partner of Microsoft. I think of SharePoint, Microsoft 365, and so on, but they'll tell you more about it. But underneath, again, the whole magic, it's all about semantic metadata and having rich metadata about all the content in an enterprise environment. And we're proud that this metadata is managed in GraphDB. Sure. So, Alfonso, Enrique, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, so thank you very much for the opportunity to be today on these talks. I will introduce myself. I'm Alfonso Soteras. I'm a Knowler product owner and director in NTT Data. And Enrique, if you want to introduce yourself, and then we go to the presentation. Enrique, we cannot hear you.
I'm the technical lead, one of the technical leaders of Knowler. I'm in charge of the team that developed the ontology model and also is in charge of the strategy of the data integration of the different data sources. That's, I think it's.
Okay, perfect. So, we will structure the session. I will do a brief introduction about an overall view about the market challenge and the opportunity and why we decided to create Knowler, and an overview about how the system works. And afterwards, Enrique will speak more about the insights of the tool and how it really works and how the magic happens inside the search engine. Okay, so Enrique, if you can share your screen, the presentation. Perfect. So Knowler, our intelligent search engine that it's able to provide the right knowledge to the right people at the right time. At least that's our claim and what we try to do with our system. So the first thing is obviously when you want to create a product such as Knowler, an idea about why we have to develop this kind of product, it was rising, okay? And the market challenge that we faced and why we decided to create a product such as Knowler is that the organizations are challenged to be able to extract useful information from all the growing sea or oceans of data that we currently have in the organizations. But having too much data can be a real drawback. From some sources, in fact, this information that came from one McKinsey report, we saw that from 100% of the time that our employees are working in the company, they spend only 40% of their daily work is dedicated to do their specific tasks that they are entitled to do. And among everything that they do during their day, 20% of the daily work is spent, and not only spent, sometimes really wasted, searching and gathering information. The real idea of Knowler is, what if we can extend time? How can we extend the productivity of our employees, cutting down that 20%, which is more or less 1.5 hours per day? What if we can cut down that 1.5 hours and provide our employees more time to execute their tasks? And that is why we decided that creating Knowler was a good idea. And what is really Knowler? Knowler is our intelligent, smart search engine that is able to find the most relevant information across all the structured and non-structured data that we can have in our organization. We gather all this data, we put it together in just one single database, and we put all this information into employees' fingertips to make their searches more efficient. And the main objective, as I commented, is increase the productivity. Not only productivity, because having a tool such as Knowler, it enhances collaboration, it promotes creativity inside our company, it creates real value for the business, and it provides better information, better insights to create the specific tasks that our employees have to do. If you have better inputs to provide your deliverables, obviously the outputs that you are going to have will also be better. Knowler is a native Azure solution. It's totally integrated into Office 365 ecosystem. It's also a Microsoft IPCO ready solution. We have some common GTM strategy also with Microsoft. It's available for downloading into Azure Marketplace, and well, basically, it's a system that, as I said, it's natively working into Microsoft's solutions. So if we move to the next one, Enrique, please. So the basic idea of Knowler, this is a very high-level architecture. Now Enrique will move to the technical details. But the basic idea of Knowler, starting from left to right, starting from the raw data into the real insights that our employees are going to be able to retrieve. We would have all the data sources. We can have any structured system that we can have, or any unstructured system that we can gather the information from. Obviously, we have some connectors already built and already in place, but if the connector is not already built, we can easily develop, because what really matters is the processes, these D2K and T2K processes that allow us to extract the real value from the information that our employee that we have in these documents or databases in our company. And how do we extract the real value? Because we have this ontology that allows us to model the business of the company. This ontology is modeled to reflect the reality of the business of our customers. If we are working for a hospital, for example, this ontology is going to talk about patients, about diseases, about drugs, about treatments. But if we are working, for example, in an IT consultancy company, this is going to talk about employees, about customers, about suppliers, about projects, about technologies. The idea is that if this ontology fits the knowledge of the business, then when we go and extract the information from the structured and unstructured sources, we will extract what is really valuable for the company. Reading the same document for two different companies is going to end in extracting different knowledge from those documents. Once we have everything in the ontology, then we run some enhancing and connection processes. For example, we profile the information that we have there. We profile our employees. We profile the documents, the projects, so that we know what is relevant, for example, for an employee, and we can provide cognitive recommendations, okay, saving distances, but the same that Netflix does. We try to do the same to recommend valuable knowledge that we can have in our knowledge graph. We connect everything in the ontology using knowledge graphs on top of that, so that we can navigate through the information that we have in the ontology, even graphically navigate to discover information that we can have there. We can search, we can query this ontology using natural language, but also using classical document retrieval or full text searches. And another interesting thing about this ontology is that it's totally multi-language. Okay, so the concept exists just once, but we can verbalize in different languages. At this moment, Knowler speaks Spanish, English, and Japanese, but we are working in adding new languages. And at the end, on the right side of the screen, we can surface all this information using. We have two native APPs. The first one embedded totally native in Microsoft Office 365, and the other one the web interface, so customers can use both interfaces as they want. And if they ask us to embed all this information into some corporate intranet or specific APPs that they can have in the company, we can embed the results, because everything in Knowler is totally APIfied, so it's just a matter of embedding the results. In the end, increasing the productivity, it's our aim. Also increasing this the quality of the deliverables that we provide, having a more engaged workforce, and basically, as I said, streamline the relevant information from any data source that we can have. We have a commercial video. It's just very quick, so that you can have at a glance how Knowler can work from a graphical interface, and then we will move to the technical part of the session. We cannot hear the sound, Enrique.
To share the screen, to share the camera and get the sound, you should press share screen. But when you press share screen, there is an option for camera, not screen share. So no, you can just start it again. Otherwise, it will be echo. We have enough time.
Okay, let me share again the video.
Just when you press share on the platform,
Yeah.
Screen share, you have two options: a screen and camera picture.
Yeah.
Then you press the camera picture, the pictogram.
Okay.
And it lets you choose the file of the video to share if you have it.
Okay. Let me look for it. Well, I have the video inside the PPT. So,
Okay, then I'm not sure how it can work. Anyway, we can probably then continue without this video.
okay.
Because can't you play it with the speaker? Just with the speaker, maybe we can hear it.
Did you know that Knowler can help you work more efficiently?
Now,
Welcome to the smart tool for smart companies. It makes it easier for you to prepare before your meetings. Access your previous collaborations with a colleague, the documents you shared, and other information of interest for your meeting. In addition, you can search for specific topics, find previous projects related to your search, as well as constantly updated documentation. With Knowler, you can also connect with your colleagues, like searching for experts with a given skill set through Teams. One of the great advantages of Knowler is that it integrates with your work environments. A tool which makes your daily work simpler, more productive, and more efficient. A helpful way to be more prepared for and engaged with your work. Search, find, Knowler.
okay. Thank you, Alfonso, for the introduction of Knowler. Now it's speaking Enrique, and I'm going to give you a little more technical overview of the architecture of Knowler, and also I'm going to talk about the search engine that we use in Knowler to retrieve the information. Knowler is, as Alfonso say, is a product. In this case, is built over the Azure cloud platform and is follow a microservice architecture. In this picture, you can see on the left, on the right side, side of the picture, all the connectors and all the services that we use to connect to the structured and unstructured data, like Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, and so on. And on the left side, you can see all the microservices that we use to consume all this knowledge, like artificial intelligence algorithm service, the web page services to present information, or even the Teams application that is integrated with Knowler. And in the middle of the picture, we have the knowledge graph and some property graph that we use to present information to the user. Of course, guide both property graph and the knowledge graph, the RTF type store, is guided by the ontology schema. The architecture is on top of AKAs, the Kubernetes service provided by Azure, and this service allows us to have different node pools where we can distribute all the services according to their nature or technical requirement. This gives us a lot of flexibility in how we distribute our services. Right now, we have more or less 75 microservices, and they are distributed in 7 node pools for different purposes and with different requirements. We have two processes to ingest data. The first one is the data to knowledge process, and is the process which takes information from several data sources, structured data sources, and then makes a mapping using ontology model in order to update the knowledge graph. This provides us a cross view of all the information of the company. This process is based on event-driven microservice architecture, in which all the services are interconnected using event queues of Azure service bus. Currently, the data to knowledge process can process different kind of data files, formats, and we can perform the process in different modes. We can launch the process in a total data processing, or in an incremental data processing. So depending on the processing mode, this process will calculate the incremental data or not. In addition to the data files, Knowler can also connect to relational databases to extract information directly and start to process that data. So first step that the data to knowledge process does is the retrieve information from the data sources. Then the data is validated, and if it's needed, the incremental data is calculated. When we have the incremental data, this is mapped according to the ontology model. And for that, we use mapping files, which are implemented in RML language. In case there are triggers associated to the mapping files, we launch those triggers to materialize new knowledge. This is one way in which it's something like an inference process, but totally controlled by us. And the second process to ingest data is the text to knowledge process, and is the process that takes information from unstructured data from different data sources like SharePoint site, conference page, document, and so on. And these documents can be stored in several repositories like OneDrive, SharePoint, Box, etc. This process is also based on an event-driven microservice architecture like data to knowledge process. And how we process the document. First of all, we take the document from the different repositories. Then the text is extracted by a library of Apache, which is called Tika. And when we have the text of the document, we send that text to the NLP module for the text processing. This module, first of all, detect the language and then carry out the entity linking based on the indexed entities from our knowledge graph. After that, it sends all the information from the document together with the detected entities to another module, which is called the query generator. This module is in charge of converting into knowledge the information and also update the knowledge graph. So this is the two ways in which we ingest data in order to integrate all the information of a company in the knowledge graph of the company. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit more deeply about the search engine, which is the cornerstone of Knowler. The search engine of Knowler executes three types of search in order to give the user different search alternatives and provide him exactly what he needs. The first one is the interpreted search, which is the semantic search, and is launched based on the construction of a Sparkle query with different constraints or patterns to be applied according to the element that was identified by NLP module. This query is launched on the knowledge graph, which is stored in RadDB. And well, the second search is the entity search. The entity search is a search of text over the indexed properties of the entities, or what we call the entity neighborhood. To do that, we index all the information of each entity in the Elasticsearch in different index depending on the kind of or the type of the entity, employees, projects, customers, and so on. And finally, the search engine execute the document retrieval is the third one, the third search. This search is performed on the indexed text of the document and over their metadata. This search is similar to entity search, but differs in the techniques that we use in order to improve the expected results, because it's not the same look for something in the body of one document or look for something in the properties of one entity. And now I'm going to show you how we organize the presentation of the result of the different search strategies, because if we have different strategies, it's because we use different criteria to search. So we cannot mix the results to present to the final user. So in this case, what we do is separate the sections in the web page of Knowler. Here in the picture, you can see two sections: the interpreted search. The result is it's shown in a carousel, and behind that carousel we have the result of the entity search in a result list form. These sections are common in all the verticals search that we can see here, because we have different verticals depend on what I want looking for, if an employee or it's a project. But the case of documents is different, because in documents we don't launch the entity search, but we launch the document retrieval, because it's a different search. So apart from these strategies, we have a special case, which is single entity search. And the single entity search is shown only when we have an exact match between the search text and the information that identifies in a unique way one entity. In this case, we look for a name of project, and then we in the result set we check, we see that product. But how works the search engine? First of all, the input text go to NLP module, and this module carry out some pre-processing tasks like text cleaning, normalization, or language detection. After that, the query is structured in a tree structure in order to be processed. And then, well, for do this, Knowler has defined a grammar for its implemented language in Lark, which is a Python library for parsing language grammar. But also we use Spaces to implement all the steps to process natural language. Then the module execute the entity detection in order to see what things we can detect. And for do that, we use the search model. We use a lexicon, and we use the naming entity recognition of a space. And in case that we have some kind of ambiguity between the detected candidate, we use the RDF2vec in order to provide the best candidate using the vector representation. So when this module finish, send all the information to the next module, which is query generator service. The query generator service or module is in charge of transforming of the information into queries in order to launch to the different data endpoints in which we have the information. The first thing to do is to build the Sparkle query, the Sparkle query tree with all the entities identified by the NLP process, and then filling the gaps of the undetected properties by making relation discovery or and using the ontology schema. And when we finish with the Sparkle query, we build the different queries for document retrieval and entity search. And for doing that, we use a set of templates and follow a transformation pipeline. In this case, some logic is taken into account logical operators, synonyms, and different languages of the detected entities. When the query generator build all the queries, send all the queries to the next module, which is the search module. And this is in charge of the executing the different queries. When, in this case, to the endpoints GraphDB and Elasticsearch. And when the results back, the search module send the results to the front end, which need to call the projection service in order to retrieve all the information to be projected in the web page or in Teams in this application. So, well, this is the way in how our search engine works. Thank you so much for your attention, and if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. Atanas, I think you are mute.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your presentation. The commercial video was really nice, but the technical architecture was even more amazing for me, and probably many of the people here. So I have a set of technical questions, but what's probably most interesting is, can you tell us again how people can use Knowler integrated in some of the popular Microsoft products? How people can use Knowler integrated in some of the popular products of Microsoft?
Okay. I think Sergio, can you?
I know you have integration with Teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Teams app, it's well, just to use the system, it's the front end, okay, and then all the other Microsoft ecosystems tools that we have been discussing, it's just to retrieve the information, obtaining information from SharePoint, from OneDrive, from Teams itself, and other systems. So the Teams app, it's just like the front end that was shown on the video, or that Enrique was sharing with the results of the searches. It's just the front end system that we can use. So we can either choose in using the web system or the Microsoft Teams app. Advantages of the Microsoft Teams app, that we add on top of what Knowler offers some collaboration tools that are native from Teams. So we can directly share the information that is inside Knowler, share the cards, the profiles of the people, profiles of the documents, of the projects. So we are adding more collaborative tools.
Yeah, okay, I understand this, and that's probably the first knowledge graph-enabled technology that I'm aware of having integration with one of these big instant messaging platforms. Well, there is a question of where is the platform, how it can be deployed, Google or Amazon. I think quite clear that it's an Azure story. Does Knowler adjust its relevance or order based on usage, based on user behavior?
This is a really interesting question because, in fact, it's something that we are currently exploring. We are in the latest release. Well, Knowler, we as a product, we have 4 yearly releases. Okay, so just by being subscribed to the license of Knowler, you have the rights to have the new versions. And in the next release, we are going to add the feedback capabilities. Okay, so that the user can provide feedback about the results of the searches. And after that, what we will do is try to adjust those results based on the feedback that the user provides. So very good question. We are working on that. It should not take long before we are able to do so, and we will do in 2 stages. First of all, retrieve the feedback, and then try to adjust results taking into account that feedback.
Yeah, we are getting into the break, but we can easily allow for a few more questions. So whoever wants to stay can stay, and people can go also to the booths. I'll use the opportunity to share the program again so that people see what follows, and we can keep talking for a while.
Okay.
So one question was, why was Postgres needed?
Okay, Postgres, we use Postgres only when we need to calculate the incremental data, because we need to have the last data that the customer provide to Knowler and compare that data with the current one. So we calculate those delta data or those incremental data in Postgres before of start to mapping the information and to update the knowledge graph.
Okay. Another technical question. What this RML language looks like? The language that you're using to transform structured data into knowledge.
Okay. RML is the acronym of a resource mapping language. It's a standard language, and it's used to map tripers, structured data into tripers in order to build the knowledge graph. You can find the standard in internet.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It was really different presentation, and it shows how this technology that we are speaking about here can get in the hands of really thousands and millions of people by means of productivity tools and better search engines. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll take the opportunity to just draw your attention to the next session on the business applications, which is for the financial services industry. It starts in 10 minutes, and then there is again the tools and platforms track, and that's a few different presentations related to search or analytics, graph path search, chatbots and stuff like this. Then we'll have a bigger break, cocktails and demos session, and at the very end we'll have discussion panel of some of the biggest solution consulting companies and IT services companies sharing their experience in delivering real solutions to enterprises using this technology. So thank you. We have 10 minutes remaining from this break. Once again,
Sorry, there was a question that it's unsolved.
Yes,
If I
we
may,
can. Sure, go ahead.
It's
Go
going
ahead.
to be quite quick. It's regarding the transformation of the unstructured data into knowledge graph. Okay? I mean, they were asking if that it seems too easy. Well, it's not. It's not that easy, and of course, in the process itself, there might not be human intervention, but there is a lot of knowledge in that ontology, and that really needs human intervention. It needs a lot of knowledge in knowing how to build the ontology. That is why experts like Enrique are so necessary in this kind of projects, and also a lot of knowledge from the business sector. Okay, if you do not have knowledge, if you remember when I was speaking about that the extraction of the knowledge is driven by the ontology, it's because we put a lot of effort in knowing what is relevant for our customers, what is relevant from the business sector that we are working on. So there is a lot of work to be done in advance. So it's not so easy. I totally share the opinion that it's not so easy because believe us that there is a lot of work behind the curtains.
Yeah, which are the sectors, which are the verticals in which you have the best tuned models and ontologies?
Well, we have done some quite successful projects in health sector. Although, to be honest, those projects were very specific for some relevant topic that they asked us to work on. We are also working on insurance and on the part of also investment management. And now we are also focusing a lot in construction. Okay, construction, real estate, and construction. It seems that there is quite a good business there. So, but I mean, we to be honest, Knowler is quite a generalistic cross sector system. So maybe we have started for some sectors, but our idea is being able to provide our knowledge and our product to all the business sectors as much as we can.
That's very ambitious plan.
Yeah, we know there is a lot of work still to be done. Yeah.
Thank you for speaking at the Knowledge Graph Forum.
Okay. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
inviting us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.